Good morning, sailors, and welcome back to the McMichael Weather Briefing, presented by SeaTactics Chelsea Freas. Today is Mount Gay Rum Race Day. Race week sailors need no introduction to Mount Gay, a sailor's favorite libation. McMichael Yacht Yards Brokers, the sponsor of this week's weather briefings, is a leading dealer for Daler yachts, German-crafted racer cruisers that always turn an eye in the harbor. This race week, there are 2 Dalers racing and performance cruising that are being crewed by friends and family. Daler yachts range from 34 to 46 feet, and for more information on Daler yachts, contact McMichael. Now for today's briefing, here's Chelsea.
Good morning, sailors, and welcome to Thursday of Block Island Race Week. Taking a look at our weather for today, we've got quite a bit of clouds. That cold front did push through. As you guys know, the breeze is on. We do have some showers embedded in these clouds, and you can see, I'm going to talk about this a little later, but I just want to show you here now that the clouds are actually moving west to east. So it's actually, the showers are moving opposite of the wind direction, which is a little interesting. So be on the lookout for showers moving west to east this morning. Otherwise, we should have a couple patches of sun. You can see little bits of sun in between the clouds, but mostly cloudy and not a total washout, but definitely some embedded showers in there. So as I mentioned, that cold front that we had sitting stationary over us yesterday has now shifted southward. That's where that stationary front is there, and we've got a high pressure sitting up in Maine, although it doesn't necessarily feel like your normal high pressure with sunny skies. This is one of those backdoor fronts with lots of clouds and the rain embedded in there, but it's bringing us nice, strong east-northeast wind through the day. Taking a look at the wind speeds out there currently, or as of about 7:15 this morning, we're in the teens, gusting to 20s across Block Island and a lot of the sites here in Long Island Sound. Buzzards Bay Tower sitting around 20, and all of this will continue to bring us strong gradient wind for the day. If we take a look kind of at our models this morning, you can see most of them are pretty much in line. We were trending just a little bit above the models this morning, but now the new runs come out and they're all pretty much in line that we're going to be sitting kind of mid-teens average for most of the day. There might be times where we're a little lower, times where we're higher up near 20, gusting low 20s, maybe as high as 25. So it is going to be a bit up and down, especially with those showers moving through, but we have high confidence for wind speeds today, and especially with the models being generally on track. So speaking of showers, let's talk a little bit about what you can expect as the rain showers come through. So if you have a rain shower approaching, you see those dark clouds and the rain coming, you may have a gust of up to 25 to 28 briefly on the edge of the rain shower, and then getting lighter once the rain actually moves over you, right? That downdraft tends to suppress the wind speed a bit. We already talked about the movement being kind of west to east, so be on the lookout for it coming from the opposite direction of the wind today. And then if you get partial clearing, so if the rain moves on and you get one of those patches of clear sky coming through, look for a right shift of up to 20 degrees. So this is because there's some right shear in the atmosphere, a different type of shear than what we've been seeing the last few days. It basically just means that if there's the ability for winds from aloft to mix down, we may see a right shift. And actually, not that much stronger wind speed aloft today. So most of the wind speed is happening at the surface. And as you go up in the atmosphere, the wind speed's actually decreasing. So if you do get partial clearing, you might get a right shift. It might actually decrease the wind speed and rather than increase it as we might normally expect. Taking a look at the forecast that I put together today, again, I'm pretty much right down the middle of the line through the models. We're taking a look at all of Block Island today. So the tables are broken up into east of Block and west of Block. East of Block, we're going to see the strongest wind speeds, right? Because it's not being wind shadowed. So we've got mid-teens gusting low 20s, and then building, especially after 2 p.m., we're seeing a bigger increase, gusts up to 25. But again, we're kind of in mid to upper teens, gusting low 20s. For west of block, you will see just a little bit lighter speeds at times because of the wind shadow there. So just keep that in mind if you are coming around on the west side. In both areas, speeds are increasing overall after 2 p.m. And then late afternoon, we might see some veering. Not exactly sure on the timing here, but more like 3 or 4 o'clock is the bigger veering. But there is a little bit of veering happening, early afternoon as well, which I'll show you here in a second. Starting off earlier in the day here with kind of mid-teens speeds, you can see maybe a little bit of a wind shadow kind of on the west side. Going to 12 p.m., it should be filling in more evenly across the course. Always windier south the block, right? So always going to see more wind speed down there. And then as we go to 1 o'clock, one thing I wanted to show you, this is the 2-kilometer model that's showing this. This wouldn't be a sustained thing, but as the breeze starts to shift from that kind of more northeast direction to more of an easterly direction, which you can see happening down here, once it starts coming in a little bit more east, when that veering happens, we may see a brief drop in wind speed. So this only is showing about 12 knots during the drop, but we may see a brief drop as it goes from more of a northeast, 40s, 50s direction into like maybe 60 to 80. So we're looking for that potential drop with the shift. But then it comes back in again, right? So it's building very quickly after that. We're getting up to upper teens, 20s after 2 p.m. and 3 p.m. building again further up to about 15 to 18, gusts 20 to 25. Now, one thing I was going to mention earlier is that we may see some gusts might see some funneling, not really gusts, but funneling coming from Buzzards Bay and Narragansett Bay. So early in the day, you're more likely to see the more left wind speeds coming from Narragansett Bay. And then into the afternoon, we may see a kind of a funneling effect with a bit of that right shift coming from Buzzards Bay, which is more of like a 60 to 70 wind direction. So you may notice kind of those two directions being the dominant directions today. And then taking a look at currents, around 12, we're just at the very end of the flood. We should be getting to slack pretty soon between 12 and 1 p.m. And then as we go into 2 o'clock, we see it's starting to ebb and it's coming around the southwest corner of block first, and then coming around 1 BI in sort of a southwest to northeast component there. 3 o'clock, it's increasing, and up through 4 o'clock, it's just kind of increasing in speed. So it'll be interesting to see how the current plays out, especially on the different corners around block. It looks like, earlier in the afternoon, there's more at play for as the currents start to shift around the different corners of block. So you guys can get this info, of course, at Current Lab. And hopefully you guys have a great day racing today out on the water. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Thanks a lot, Chelsea. Now, here's today's fun fact. In some sailors' minds, Block Island Race Week is really a party where a regatta broke out. And what a party it is. Storm Trysail literally orders a truckload of assorted liquors to keep the party going for 6 nights. Party on, dude. Well, we'll be back at this time tomorrow morning for the next McMichael weather briefing. And we'll all listen at 0900 for today's race committee's announcements. For the Storm Trysail Club, this is Button Spadine saying I'll see you at the end of Champlain's after racing today for a mudslide.